Hey, everybody, look up. I'm looking up. Watch out and keep up with your boy StillVinSane. We are here to give you trending news, everything that's going on right now in entertainment, social media, viral sensations. I'm going to go over a list of my favorite TikToks. Let's do it. Let's do it. A little bit of politics. So right now, let's get into something a little serious and at the same time a little ridiculous. South Korea admits agencies mishandled international adoptions. NPR reports that a person named Deanne Borsche Liam, who was born in South Korea and adopted into an American family, about the Korean government admitting adoption agencies engaged in malpractice, basically giving babies off to other families without consent and without even knowing who their real biological parents were. And the biological parents didn't even know that these kids were being given off. So it is so crazy. That's what a way to start. What a way to start. It's based off an interview, and after complaints, they admitted it. The government admits that it mishandled the adoptions. And this started in 1953. It's crazy. I saw a movie, A Woman with the Needle, recently, and it had to do with like kind of stuff like that, like baby people that weren't ready to be parents. They wanted to give it off for adoption. And this woman was taking them in and getting paid to take them, and she was murdering them. It was crazy. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. I mean, but it's a long ass movie, so it's going to take you a long time. And by the time you get to there, you're probably going to forget that I said that. So let's get into one of the most juiciest ones of the week. That would be the Houthi war plans on the Signal app. And so, if you don't know, Pete Hegseth, a known drunk alcoholic, and I know that's going to seem very leftist of me to say that, and it's true. It's true. I do not like Pete Hegseth. I do not like his tattoos. I don't like the one that is an infidel kashir, I believe, and it means basically a rejection of anything Muslim. I don't like his crusade tattoos. I don't like that he is a drunkard. That doesn't mean that you should never, ever have a dope job just because you were an alcoholic or a recovering addict. I just don't think that's appropriate for the Pentagon. But those are just my opinions. But it doesn't even matter. I said but twice. It doesn't even matter because he might disqualify himself. I'm not guaranteeing this, but someone's going to get fired. It's either Mike Walls or him. So let's give you a breakdown. There's this app that's encrypted, just like WhatsApp and Telegram, and the government thought it was a good idea, or the Pentagon or the DoD, they thought it was a good idea to bring this to that app, bring, war plan to bomb the Houthis, who are a group of militants, or a militant group, a terrorist group, whatever you want to call it. They have been bombing through the Suez Canal because of in support of the Palestinians that are being bombed in Gaza. So to protest that against Israel, they have been pretty much sabotaging that whole operation. And the US is obviously the number one ally. And there are other places like Europe that benefit off of the Suez Canal. So in the text, they have JD Vance, and I'm not even doing this in the right order, probably. It's just what I remember. JD Vance said that, he doesn't like letting Europe off the hook our Secretary of Defense. That was our Vice President, J.D. Vance, the one with the eyeliner. Then he said that he doesn't want to, he agrees. And so that's an ally, Europe, of course, whole continent. Throughout the conversation, they gave a lot of details of like how they would bomb the Houthis. It was not supposed, I was about to air quote it. It was successful. I mean, that's what it was. It doesn't mean that I agree with what they did. But as far as what their mission was, and they think that Europe doesn't do enough, so that like, and Steve Miller, he's an advisor, a senior advisor on the Trump, and he's a big signature on all immigration policy. He thinks that Europe should remunerate the U.S. for opening up sea navigation, and that's opinion based. If you want to say that you should make everything transactional, nothing wrong with that. Like free trade, free market. Like, it is government. Where does that line? But right now we have a president that runs the whole country like a business. It doesn't even matter if so these companies, these moguls and these conglomerates, tech companies, it was very trendy. Mark Zuckerberg, one of the ways that he wanted to make Facebook more profitable was to cut the fat. And so he consolidated, he laid off a bunch of people in waves, different departments, different projects. They just weren't making money anymore, or like they were going in the wrong direction. And it worked. It worked. It worked as a company. It doesn't mean it works humanely. A lot of people lost their jobs. I know the unemployment rate is low. And it's low. It's not gonna, it's probably gonna go a little bit higher. I don't know, like if it's gonna be astronomically higher. It's been historically low. It's been under 5% for a long time, especially since the pandemic and the 2008 Wall Street crash. It's pretty healthy, to be honest. 330 million people. That's pretty healthy. So they got caught. They put the Atlantic editor inside the group chat, and homie snitched on everybody. And Goldberg, lead editor for a very established. I'm a fan of the First Amendment, also, just like some people proclaim, but part of that is freedom of press. And we're also going to get into freedom of assembly. The White House just banned, they just tried to do an executive order, which is probably going to go through the courts again. All of these are very controversial, too controversial to just do executive orders. They have to go through the courts. And so he wants to make sure that labor unions are not formed in some part of the government. And he put that in very bold letters on the White House website today. And so then we have, and all of this, Trump defends all of these things. It's leaked. The editor from the Atlantic magazine, he saw it. He leaked it all to us. We've seen all the screenshots. Pretty embarrassing stuff. The Intelligence Committee came after them and questioned them, made them testify. They were very dismissive, including and evasive, just like, and one of them was intelligence, head of intelligence, central intelligence. That was Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth, Mike Walls, national security, all that good stuff. And they just denied. Mike Waltz just apologized recently for making the group chat. Again, Hegseth says that there's no classified information, and Trump has defended them. And I think a head is going to roll, to be honest, but there's no guarantee of that. All good. RFK Jr. has made major cuts. So again, he is following the trend. Oh, and one more thing. A judge has ordered them to preserve the signal messages. So again, I do think heads are going to roll, but that does not mean that's a guarantee that's going to happen, even with that development. So HHS cuts. I'm going to say, so I don't get it. And I've had some of my episodes capped a little bit because I've said that I believe in vaccines and I was for the whatever was going on with the pandemic. And again, if you have a different perspective, you probably call it pandemic, deep state, deep state. But I don't agree with these cuts. But again, this is what is happening. Everything is getting consolidated. Everything, what they think is not part of their initiative. So if it's not red food dye, if you have the measles, if you want to have a committee for community standard living, like community homes and making sure that the elderly are taken care of, that is not a prerogative of this administration. And again, it is cutting 10,000 jobs, 10,000 jobs. So again, in order to save you money, so you're America, you're the company, and Trump is the CEO. And in order for you, the shareholders, to save money, you have to cut some workers. You have to cut some workers. So again, we're like in our apprentice phase right now. So a lot of people, and I'm sure there's a lot of talented people. They'll bounce back and stuff, but it doesn't. It's not fun. It's not fun getting laid off. Not fun. It's not fun for Greenland. Apparently, JD Vance and his wife went to, and it's funny because I'm about to look up her name right now, and Trump didn't even remember her name. So it's I don't want to get it wrong. Where's her name? Well, whatever. I'm not gonna waste time. So it was a very cold visit, no pun intended with the weather, but him and his wife went there, and it was supposed to be just his wife to go, and other officials have gone before. And as you know, Trump has said that he wants to seize Greenland. He wants to annex it from Denmark. One of the countries we've bought or annexed has been Alaska from Russia. That's the one that comes to the top of my head. I don't think that's the last one we did. But right now, it's like I said, it's hunting season for land. So Greenland is on the chopping block. And Greenland, from polls that I've seen, 85% have said that they do not welcome this idea that Trump wants to do a security for America, for homeland security against, I guess, Russia or other factions and other. I don't think that's a good idea. So they visited, and the Danish official, he said that he's welcome to any security. They signed a treaty a long time ago, and he references back to that. I think it was in 1953. And he said he's, based on that agreement, he's things are welcome to be talked about. But he doesn't think that the U.S. has to do it in such a tone. He doesn't like the tone of the U.S. doing this. And I tend to agree with that. I don't believe in expansionism. I think we've done enough with that manifest destiny. And I don't think that we need to be bothering brown people to do that. But again, Denmark, which is a semi-autonomous country, it has their sovereignty, but Denmark looks over Greenland, and nobody wants America to take over Greenland. Well, at least 85% of that country. And over here, who knows, man? Who knows? I don't get it. I don't get why we're doing this. Does this bring down the cost of eggs? I don't think so. Does it make my life cheaper? Does it bring down gas prices? Not to say that those things were like super important to me, but that's super important to major America, to middle America. A lot of people, that's what they really put their hopes upon in the election, whether they saw that and apparently more people saw that in Trump. And I don't think he's doing anything to do that right now. It seems like there's a lot of culture war that he's trying to dominate at the moment. But hey, you make trending on that. Not last. We'll take a break from the politics though. But one more. Smithsonian is going woke, and Trump targets, from the BBC, he targets anti-American ideology. He wants to sign an executive order targeting the Smithsonian Institution, which operates more than 20 museums and research centers visited by millions yearly in Washington, D.C. and New York City. He orders and directs the vice president to eliminate improper, divisive, or anti-American ideology from the Institute's museums, centers, and national zoo. I don't even know what the zoo would have to do with DEI. The zebra, you in trouble, bro. You too diverse. You too diverse. Too much black and white going on. Too much of that. But anyway, he would like to restore truth and sanity to the American history. J.D. Vance, who became a member of the Smithsonian Board of Regents, he just got a promotion due to his position in government, will lead the purge. This is really sad for me personally because I have not been to the African American Museum in the Smithsonian. And I just found out recently through a podcast that 60%, it's probably an NPR podcast, 60% of the funding of that Smithsonian is funded by the government. So we don't know what this gutting is going to do to it. And supposedly it was very in depth. And I don't think that we run away from that type of history, but this administration disagrees. They would like to smooth out the edges of anything that depicts them of an imperialist. In a bad way. I don't think this country shies away from being imperialist, but I think when it comes to being like the evil empire in Star Wars, I definitely think that we try really hard to scrub that out as much as we can. I know one of his favorite presidents, probably his favorite president, to be honest, is Andrew Jackson. And he led the Trail of Tears. So, but depending on where you are in history, some people believe in colonialism. One of my friends, Josh, he's a super into it. Like if what's her name from Wakanda said colonizer to him, he would beat his chest and be like, he thinks that like colonialism civilized the world. He thinks that like it was a means to an end. And I totally disagree with that. But that's what some people feel. Let's get into some entertainment. Wendy Williams. This is a little Britney Spears. She is going through a conservatorship, and they were talking about her on The View, and she wanted to get her point across, and that she wants to end this conservatorship. That's why I said it's like Britney Spears. Conservatorships has been happening for a while, especially for elderly people, but like now it has been now because of a movie with Rosamund Pike, and because of a lot of young people like Britney Spears, she's relatively young, for someone to have conservatorship on it. Wendy Williams, she had a lot of alcohol abuse, so a lot of people thought that like some of her faculties, and I believe she has relatives looking out for her right now. Let's actually look that up a little bit. Let's not just get off the top of our heads. So, Wendy Williams, how you doing? She's 60 years old. Let's go to Yahoo. Yahoo's pretty good. She can't wait to get her story out as she awaits jury trial. She's itching to tell us. The former television show host, WBLS. Where's she been? She's been Hot 97. She's been all over the place. She's a radio icon. And she also wants the jury to decide her fate. A jury is taking place after additional testing from an independent neurologist. I just heard someone talk about hand surgery, and he brought up a neurologist. Maybe I'm stupid, maybe like because of nerve damage, but I thought that was a microsurgeon. Who knows? But shout out to Wendy Williams. Like I said, she's one of my radio icons. I tried reading her or listening to her audiobook, and it was basically kind of like this show, to be honest. It was like just remembering things that happened in history and kind of being like, I told you so. So like with her, and this is way before the Diddy allegations, but she had personal allegations against him and a big history calling him gay and all that kind of stuff, basically alluding to things that happened. She's like Wendy Williams, Nostradamus over here. So the same thing with R. Kelly, Michael Jackson. So it got like really boring. I thought she was going to get more into her personal life. If you really want to hear more of her personal life, right? Get juicy gossip. You read Charlemagne the God, who was one of her mentees and a former co-host and colleague. He tells more dirt about her, to be honest. And Angie Martinez, the radio icon from Hot 97, and now she's on Power 105. She made the switch a while ago. That was a big deal, free agent signing. Shout out to her and shout out to Wendy Williams. I hope that, if I don't believe in that. I did at first. I'm not gonna lie. I was about to like go off as if I like believed in this forever. I did not. I personally think there's a lot of people on Britney Spears' payroll, so I'm pretty sure the same thing with Wendy Williams. So I used to believe that there is a personal responsibility for that, but you can't bleed the woman dry. And if she's not performing anymore, if she is not under contract anywhere, she can't bring home the bacon. And hey, thanks, Oscar. Happy Sunday, brother. So hey, I don't know all the facts of the case, but I don't want any conservatorship on me. And at first, like I said, I was more on the side of people that were relying on that income. And just because you go crazy, but again, back to the CEO lens, Britney Spears, Wendy Williams, they are the CEO of their bodies and their estate. And I don't believe anybody should be able to do that. I would like people to protect their money. If I went crazy, I would want someone to stop me from draining my swamp of money. Like, if I'm Scrooge McDuck, thank you, Oscar. Oscar said that if I get mentally impaired, that he will save me from squandering my $33 I have of net worth. So I appreciate that, Oscar. That was lovely. That was lovely. So let's move on. Let's get serious once again. ICE picks up a Tufts student. She was a protester for one of the negotiators actually on campus on Tufts to divest from Israeli companies or IDF backed companies. And they came up to her like crazy. They came up to her. Thanks, Oscar. They came up to her while she was breaking fast. It's Eid Mubarak today, iftar dinner, whatever you're doing. I'm probably butchering it right now. I'm not Muslim. I'm sorry, but I respect you guys. You guys are amazing. My dad is breaking fast, and he is. We're doing Eid tonight, getting him back on track with eating with us. And so she was breaking fast, and she brokered negotiations. And now the U.S. immigration system. Mark Rubio just made a video recently. It was pretty logical if you're on his side, but like I'm not. I don't like what he's doing. I don't. It's not that I don't. It's not that I disagree with legal immigration. I definitely do. I just don't like making it to a sport and a big deal. I believe in comprehensive immigration reform. I believe I'm doing it from the inside. I don't believe in all these vanity stats like you just deport people in mass numbers. Especially a lot of these people pay taxes and they don't get any of the benefits back. There's some ways that they do. New York, they have like, ID cards, and some like metro cities like New York, sometimes they do grab the benefits, but most of them they don't. Most of them they don't. That's $12 billion worth of revenue. And as a matter of fact, Florida just is trying to pass a law to bring some child labor back to make up for the deficit that immigrants make in the labor force. So it's crazy. It's crazy. So with ICE and Tufts, she was part of that movement, and they detained her and they sent her over to Louisiana. Another one going to Louisiana, and the courts blocked it from her getting deported officially. Where was she getting deported? I'm so sorry. Turkey. And she's fighting it. She's fighting it. There's a Chinese immigrant that just blocked the deportation, or sued to block a deportation. So right now that's on pause too. That's part of that injunction wave that is going on right now. It is in the Supreme Court's hands right now, to be honest, where Trump wants to get a wide limit and scope on injunctions that is happening, because it's happening at a record pace for him. At least 65% of the last like 100 years of executive orders being blocked or paused in a national and universal way has been happening so much that even I've said this before, Supreme Court justices have looked at it and kind of questioned it. Other administrations, including the Obama administration, they have questioned it. So there might be a change coming with that. And hopefully it's not on his side. But if it was, it would not just help his side, it would help both. But I feel sorry for her. I hope she wins out. And yeah, no, I'm not. I hate ICE, to be honest. I'm not a fan of ICE. Even though I believe in illegal, but again, I believe in comprehensive. I believe in making more judges that will help that immigration process. I believe to kind of lower down the limit on it is very hard. I know some people that go 20 years without becoming before they become a citizen. I don't think it should be that hard. Personally, a lot of people disagree, including people that are citizens, naturalized. I am a natural citizen, but people that are naturalized, they disagree with me. They think that there should be a high standard. And but I look at it from the point of view that, like, we invented the word jackal. We decentralize a lot of governments and create these vacuums, and we wonder why there's so many swaths of people that want to come here. So I believe it's mostly our fault. So I do think that we should harbor them if we're going to be that kind of force. But whatever. Moving on. Let's get into some entertainment. Sundance is moving to Colorado. I like that move. Sorry, Mormons. You guys are not going to have the Sundance Film Festival anymore. It's going to move to Boulder, Colorado. I have been to Boulder, Colorado. That is considered a college town, and I think that it's a mix of a small town and a college town. And so it's got a lot of, so for instance, whenever there's a college town, there's a lot of arts, there's a lot of concert halls, there's a lot of bars, really like gastropubs and stuff like that to accommodate that kind of crowd. And so I think that is a great idea. I have never been to the Sundance Film Festival, so a little ignorance on my part when I say this. Park City, Utah, I've heard it's really beautiful. But again, I think, like, with the drinking and the tobacco laws that they have over there, it's a little stringent. That's what I'm guessing from or I'm inferring from reading these articles. NBC News reported on this and others. So in 2027, after 40 years in Park City, Utah, it will be moving to Boulder, Colorado. And it's where a lot of films get the thumbs up before they get into award season and get bought up by distributors. And I'm a big fan of that festival. Well, one day I have to go. So it sucks that I haven't been to the Utah one, but one day maybe I will go to the one in Boulder, Colorado. I love Colorado. All good. Moving on, we have, I found this pretty fascinating, to be honest. Who votes the most in New York City? So let's do that. I don't and spoiler alert, Queens is near the top. So who votes the most in New York City? No, I don't want this spam. We have exclusive data. And it says that Manhattan has the highest voter turnout, and it's normally blue. Bronx came out last. Brooklyn came out second, and Queens came out third. So I'm a big believer in voting. I believe that it should be mandatory, to be honest. Right? It sounds a little socialist, sounds a little communist, Vince. Get your little Marxist shit in check. But I do believe that everybody should be voting, and it's cool to see. So it's like around 20-something% of each, and that is the national average. I find that a little sad, but it's cool to know that Queens is not at the bottom. Bronx, get your shit together. A little bit of music news. Jelly Roll's daughter. That's not the headline. It's actually his ex-wife. She went into rehab, and they arrested her in front of the daughter, I believe. Let's look that up. He blames himself for his daughter's anxiety. That's not the headline I wanted to see. Oh, there we go. Wasn't it? Jelly Roll wasn't allowed to see his daughter after getting out of jail. Or was that? No, that's 3 weeks ago. Oh, broke up. There we go. Jelly Roll. So this is the country singer Jelly Roll. He's a 3-time CMA award winner. He's amazing. He's a really good country artist. And he was broken by a mother's struggle with addiction. And that's his reaction to her drug related charges. He is is he a former addict? I believe he's a former addict too. I might be wrong about that. But and his new wife, she is like a vixen and stuff like that, and so they're pretty progressive. They're really cool. He's a very talented artist, and I hope that his family gets through that. Addiction is really serious, and it's a disease in my opinion. So it affects everybody. It doesn't matter if you are successful. So it affects his family, and I hope they get out of it just like everybody else. Let's get into some more entertainment. If you think that life is unfair, Malcolm in the Middle is coming back with a limited series. Most of the people are back, including Bryan Cranston. It's a revival. And he said, of course, a lot of them are older. It's going to be on Disney Plus. It probably has the girl meets world kind of vibe, or like Full House. They're picking up another reboot of A Different World, and it's going to show Dwayne's child. And so they're going to have, and that one skipped the pilot. That one skipped the pilot. So that's a rare thing. So so all these reboots are just very, very popular right now. And Malcolm in the Middle is one of them. I hope it does well. I love Malcolm in the Middle. Shout out to Soy Sauce, one of my favorite TikToks. We'll get into that soon. Smash or Pass, and the mother from there was on the Smash list. Congratulations to her. I went to, where the fuck did I go? I went to a Brooklyn Football Club game, and it was dope. It was really cold. I love women's soccer. They're one of there's an expansion team into, I believe, I forgot what league. But I'm not one of those people that shits on women's sports. I like women's sports. It just got really cold. It went to overtime, and I believe they won. But it got so cold that they had to. I was in the owner's box, and they had to close the fucking window, and that sucked. I met some really cool people. Shout out to Malcolm. Shout out to Tiffany for bringing me. It was amazing. It was very fun. All right, we went over those. Oh, I have to say something. Shout out to my friend Samantha. She said something really funny. So there's a song by Sabrina Carpenter, and it was very successful last year, and probably bleeding into this year, to be honest. It's called Espresso. And and I don't have the music rights, so I'm not gonna put it up. I used to do that. A lot of episodes got flagged for that. She is super fine. She is another person from that show, Girl Meets World. She's cool. She's really awesome, and she's so gifted. She used to go out with Barry Keogh also, until supposedly or allegedly that he cheated on her with a younger TikTok star. But anyway, back to her. One of my friends, Samantha, she put up a meme, and it said, "It's not espresso, it is espresso," and she put an acronym, "For the Love of God." So shout out to Samantha for put me on that. That was hilarious. I love acronyms. We know that on this show, where we make fun of cliches. And a big cliche is acronyms, or the overuse of acronyms, but that one was fantastic. For the Love of God. Flog. Perfect. Chef's kiss. I love it. But anyway, let's move on. This one is serious. No Other Land. Bilal, one of the creators of the Academy Award winning documentary. Very sad. He's a Palestinian co-director. It was a bipartisan endeavor with Israeli colleagues making this documentary, and it was about Israeli settlers in the West Bank area taking over and hiding behind the IDF and violence. And not to say that there isn't violence on the other side. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say trying to give some excuse for Hamas or for October 7th or for anything like that, or just try to take a side, which I had taken a side, but like not in this instance, not while I'm telling this story. No Other Land they highlighted that. And again, it was a coalition of those two people in that land, Israeli citizens and Palestinian citizens. So they came together to make this film. They won an Academy Award. It was very highly acclaimed, not very distributed. As a matter of fact, the mayor of Miami is going through legal troubles because he's trying to ban it in that city. And that is highly First Amendment rights illegal. Can't do that, but he thinks that he's protecting his constituents. But back to the juicy part of this, Bilal was lynched, and when I think of lynched, I think of death because of African Americans here. But he lived, and he got beat up, and he got detained by, I guess, Israeli settlers, and the academy made a letter saying how they felt really bad for him, to paraphrase that, and supposedly they didn't hit the mark. And a lot of people like Mark Ruffalo, they wrote a letter back and said that that's not enough. This is one of our members of our arts society, and he deserves more compassion and more empathy. And it's an atrocity. It's violence. It's violence for making art and for expressing yourself. So supposedly it was for that. It was because some Israeli settlers didn't like how they were depicted in the film. The Israeli government doesn't like it either. They think that it's very one-sided. But in my opinion, I'm on Takashi Coates' side, where he went to those areas and they questioned him why, and including the CBS reporter, CBS reporter, and pushing back, like, why did he create that kind of film or get that kind of perspective? And he was like, the Israeli, not to say that you're wrong if you're a Zionist or anything like that, not what I agree with, but if you do, if you see it from that lens, you're gonna think that, like, your story is not told enough. And in his perspective, which I share, I don't think the Palestinian or the Gaza experience is exposed enough. I think that it's always just directed or diverted back to Hamas and militant groups and Hezbollah and all that kind of stuff for the Lebanese people. But the people kind of just get as collateral damage, whether it's government or terrorists or militant groups or opposition groups, rebel groups. The revolution and the resurrection lives on. But shout out to you. I'm glad that you're living, brother Bilal, and I'm glad you're home. And I'm always going to be a big fan of freedom of expression and artistic expression. And just like when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, I thought that was dangerous. I don't want to get into the morality of it, but I think that's dangerous because comedians are our last line of defense when it comes to freedom of expression. And so when you make them unsafe to have that platform, I think that's super dangerous. But anyway, moving on. Let's do my favorite TikTok accounts. Let's get a little light. One more on the music tip. Chaperone was on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and it was an interesting episode. I'm a big fan of the makers of Unwell. My homegirl, what is her name? She is on the Call Your Daddy podcast. Let's look it up. See, I'm such a fan that I forgot her name, but she's amazing. It's like Allison or something. Abby, something like that. So I thought this was really funny. So Governor's Ball, I'm a big fan. I've been there many years. And it's a great music festival. And Chaperone was there last year. And she said when she dressed up as and I'll give you a little peek at that. So Chaperone was on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and she said that she had to get rid of the body paint and spread her cheeks. And as a perv like the rest of us, I thought that was amazing. Even though I am not on her menu, she is she loves to claim that she is a lesbian. She likes women at the moment. She talks a lot about dating women in the podcast and in her music. She also said it took coconut oil and a literal kitchen sponge. And as you can see, it was a great outfit, but she was really committed, smoking a J through the apple, the big apple. I thought it was genius. I thought it was and as a fan of Governor's Ball, I thought that she killed it. Oh, that's right. This rear is Olivia Rodrigo. I don't think it's as strong as a lineup as last year. Renee Rapp. There was a lot of people that were really awesome. Chaperone, Ceza, but I do like Olivia Rodrigo a lot. She's really dope. So I might go this year. T-Pain is supposed to be there. My cousin is really into that, and I like T-Pain also. But yeah, shout out Oscar. Yeah, Olivia Rodrigo is she's really gifted. Shout out to Daniel Negro. I think that's his name, Negro or Negron. He just signed he just got his record label or his production label. He is the songwriter for Chaperone, for Taylor Swift, for Olivia Rodrigo, and he's a huge producer, huge writer. And so shout out to him. He just got his let's see, Daniel. I'm sure there we go, Negro. Or Negro, right? His name is wild. It's wild. Pause on the Negro. It's probably Negro, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, he's a super producer, and his record label just got absorbed into a partnership with Universal, his amusement record. So he's huge on the scene. But anyway, Chaperone, shout out to her Green Cheeks, and shout out to her new music, The Giver. I really like her a lot. Let's move on. But anyway, back to my favorite TikToks right now. It is Nick, the young lawyer. He plays along with his wife, Simply G. I think she's kind of cute. He's a young lawyer, and he's always making fun of her on the couch. And they do house reclamation projects. President Bush. That's one of my favorite ones. So this one's going to make me look like a super perv. She gives Bush auras. She is the lead singer of a band called Stammer. And I love that. She's double dipping in the entertainment, and it is getting notoriety for her from her TikTok. That's great marketing. So she talks about other people's bushes. She says if you have a trim, if you have like a full-on bush, or you have a landing strip, or if you have it neatly tight, or if you have a man bun, a mohawk, dreads, if you're able to braid it. She talks about people's bushes. She one time said that one of them, an example, she said that Kamala Harris had a bush, but she had a silk press, I thought that was hilarious. I watch it all the time. She talks about other crazy things. She says that she's on Adderall, and she's always doing it from the bathroom pretty much. And she is very progressive with her views. I like her a lot. Next one is the Shoy Show. Shoy Show. That's my homie. That is Bashoy. That's someone that I want to engage with. I engage with his content a lot. He's really talented. He's really smart. He works in IT, and he also has his show on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, and he does a more conservative or financial view of things than I do, but pretty much in the same format. I enjoy him. We have Lethal Shooter. It's when people Lethal Shooter. Let's do this. TikTok Lethal Shooter. And he's like, you gonna learn. Let's see if this works. Okay, it does. So we can check out one. There's no copyright on this. Let's do it. Captions are in the way. All right.
To make a gummy while dribbling? Look how far that bottle is. You know I understand it.
Come on, man. Not the gummy content again.
They the ones bothering me, Andrew. They're bothering me all day, every day in the comments.
I learned.
You're looking at the point guard. Over 150 nails sharpened with only 2 inches of error to go through. Stay sharp.
He's wild.
Everybody always making excuses. Okay, I understand it now.
Because he would miss it on purpose so that he could show us.
Stop playing. People think they understand now, like I do. You think I'm crazy, Andrew?
Yes, we think you're crazy. We definitely do. All right, let's do some more. Again, copyright thing. That's usually been the issue, but we're going to. This is one of my homies. This is a pit bull, quote unquote, a Staffordshire, a blue nose, and he is super cute and he talks.
And so you ready to spread some love through our words? All right, you gotta let me go first. Okay. You gotta wait. Through words. And so you need to let me go, okay? They want to hear me talk shit. Through words of affirmation.
I'm dead. He's my guy, man. He's my guy. Moving on quick. This one's been on for a while. Miss Snow Wolf. I really enjoy her. She does sarcastic interactions with her lover, her husband, and they are so funny. Let's find a good one.
Where's my thing?
What?
I give it to you last. Where is it?
I don't have it.
Seriously? Let me check your pockets.
Check my pockets.
Yeah. Where is it? I gave it to you last. Where is it?
I don't have it.
I need it. Where did you put it? I don't understand. I just gave it to you for you to borrow, and you're supposed to give it back to me. That's how it works.
I don't have
It's not. It's just like a loan. It's not a permanent. It's not with you forever. It's supposed to come back to me. So where is it?
Back to you.
You didn't, because I don't have it. And now I'm literally fiending right now. So where is it?
Did you lose it?
No.
Honey, you gotta quit this. You just gotta quit.
I just have to quit. I don't know how to quit.
Every day.
Don't you think I would quit if I could? Do you see how crazy I'm acting right now?
Well,
because I can't find it.
Okay, well, it shouldn't matter then if you lose it all the time. Just quit it.
Just quit it.
Yeah.
Just up and quit something that I'm obviously very much.
Or buy a new one and shut up.
Okay. I'm not even married, and I could definitely appreciate that. Let's move on to some sports when it comes to my favorite TikToks. All the Smoke. So it's one of my favorite podcasts, and they have amazing clips, and the best ones right now are Vernon Maxwell. Oh no. I think we reached our limit. Hold up. Well, I have TikTok, so I don't know why. Let's log in. Let's see if we can do this. Have I done it through Facebook before? Oh, we're in luck. Let's do it. Logged in. Vernon Maxwell videos. So Vernon Maxwell, he was a former player in the NBA, and he was amazing. He was on the Rockets, great defender. So he goes on All the Smoke, which is with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, also former players. And now he is a co-host on the show because of how successful these clips and the podcast episodes did. And he's Mad Max talking about Petrovic from the Nets. RIP to him. He died in a car crash.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to tell you, that motherfucker give me nightmares.
Give me two of the most underrated players you played against.
Shit, probably Drazen Petrovic. Never seen nothing like it before. I'd rather guard motherfucking Black Jesus, Michael Jordan,
really,
than guard that motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was for me and that motherfucker. This motherfucker used to give me buckets. I used to be so frustrated. I couldn't stop this motherfucker. I mean, you can't get this motherfucking inch.
Both
Nah,
ways,
man,
mid-range,
but all
three,
that mid-range, all
spins.
that motherfucker. You know how them motherfuckers in Europe, they got all that.
Yeah.
Pause. Mid range. All good. All good. Both ways. Anyway, let's move on. Elsie's sign is pretty funny. And that'll be the last one, and I'll just mouth off the rest. Pause again. And this guy, he is selling signs, and he will make fun of woke culture right before he starts to sell his product.
If you're on the desert and you have to pick between me, a 6'2" trans girl, or this muffin, which do you pick?
Whether he has these views or not are irrelevant, in my opinion. It is great marketing, in my opinion. Keep it up, brother. LC Sign, those are great. There's also Carissa. We have Hollywood, which is a Canadian car dealership, and he asks them questions about hip hop. We have Shay, where she does. She's very young. She's like 26, and she has people make fun of her accent, a country accent, a more Appalachian accent, and she has Appalachian words of the day. The Scarletto twins are from Staten Island, and they're twins, and they have takes on the Yankees and the Giants and Staten Island life and bodega life, and they're nostalgic. They're really funny, and again, they're from Staten Island, so of course they have that vibe. We're gonna wrap it up in a little bit, but let's talk about. I usually talk about new shows, but White Lotus is on season 3. And spoiler alert, HBO is obsessed with incest. I just got to say that. Just got to put that out there. Wow. And I'm not going to mention the players that are involved if you haven't got there yet, but wow, craziness. White Lotus has picked up. Shout out to, I think his name is Mike White, who made the show. It is awesome. It's a great show. It has definitely picked up where it needs to be. Opening day baseball, the Yankees, they got new bats, and they rocked a record 9 amount of home runs. Opening day for a lot of people. Juan Soto was on the Mets. He hit his first home run yesterday. I fucking hate the Astros, so that's awesome that they beat them. LeBron and Stephen A. Smith. I have to touch on that. LeBron is upset at things that Stephen A. Smith has said, which I think is really hypocritical. Not for LeBron, but for people that talk about black media and black-owned things. I think it's really hypocritical that people are so critical of Stephen A. Smith, which it makes sense because he's critical himself. That's his brand. He's a sharpshooter. That's the name of his. That's the name of his book. So it makes sense that he lives his life like that. But there's been criticism that's come out of Stephen A. on his shows about LeBron James' son, LeBron James Jr., where a lot of people think he only got drafted because of his father. His father made sure that everybody knew that if he didn't sign, that people didn't draft his son, that he would not be on that team, which was the Lakers. I don't think that LeBron James Jr. is trash, or Bronny James is trash. He actually does very well in the G League. He's had flashes of sustainability in this league through the Lakers, through playing in some games. But I think it's so lame that he approached him like that at a game. He just signed his deal to be the highest paid sports broadcaster. So the day of, he comes to him while they're playing the Knicks, and he presses him and says, "Don't talk about his fucking family like that." I think that Stephen A. Smith just doing his job. Is just doing his job. I'm on his side most of it. I do think that Stephen A. Smith has been talking about it a lot. So Charles Barkley hit it on the head and said that it's both sad. They both had a bad week because this is not who they are. This is not their brand. LeBron James took it far too, as a bully is concerned. If that's the way you want to look at it. He went on the Pat McAfee show to express himself and to throw shit on Brian Windhorst, somebody that's been covering him ever since his movie from high school. So I think it's just super. Even though I'm on Stephen A. Smith's side, I do think they need to squash it. It is looking bad, especially for black media, black sports. I don't see why we have to be so divisive in order to get attention. That's just me. That's my bias on that situation. But Stephen A. Smith, if you type in his name or LeBron James' name or both of them together, there is lots of footage on them beefing. It is crazy. It is not stopped. Shout out to the people that believe in DVP. Speaking of acronyms, I don't understand it. So if you watch porn, people put 2 penises in 1 vagina. I don't. So if you don't believe in DP, but you believe in DVP, what the fuck is that? So that's a little bit R-rated. We kept that at the end. I don't get it. I don't get why 2 penises, and I don't want to rub my penis on someone else's penis either. So I don't know why people do that. But there are some porn stars that feature that, and so look up DVP if you want to know anything further with that. Shout out and RIP to the Cotton Club. Quick story before I go. My dad promised while they were dating that he would bring her to the Cotton Club. He fell asleep the night that he was going to. My mom was super excited. He never brought her, and he never will, because the Cotton Club is closing very soon. And Eid Mubarak to my dad. He is Muslim. I am not. I'm not religious. He has converted somebody in my family recently. But it's cool. Beautiful religion. Judaism is beautiful too. I've talked about Israel on here. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that there are many Jewish people that are on the side of protecting Palestinians. Doesn't mean that they're protecting Hamas. Nobody wants to protect a terrorist group. Again, there are many definitions of that. But anyway, Eid Mubarak. It's a beautiful time. Break your fast. Get your iftar on. I really appreciate, I do, again, even though I'm not religious, I appreciate religion, Buddhism, all of those religions, Hindu. I think religion is beautiful, especially if you carry it in a respectful way and it helps and enriches your life. And so let's get out of here. I went to the park with my family yesterday. It was beautiful. And then it bitch slapped us. It was bipolar, the weather. It was like, nah, son, like, we're not doing that. And it's cold again today, but I love spending time with my new nephew. Shout out again to Osmalo. He is big on Twitch. He got me on Discord. I'm trying my best to keep up with the new people on there. And thank you. Gotta highlight his reaction. It's true. It was bipolar vortex. Boom, boom. Yeah, it was like 80 degrees. And then again, when I was at the soccer game, Brooklyn Soccer Club, I should have brought it. I got a cool, I don't even care about swag. I'm in marketing. And so swag is like nothing to me. Like, it's like just China brand shit all over. And so, but they made a cool scarf and it was dope. So shout out to Brooklyn Football. Thanks, man. Shout out to Brooklyn Football Club. But again, Oscar does Fortnite on there. I still have it downloaded. Right? He makes fun of me that I don't download it. Stop blaming your wife for not going out, and start hanging out with your friends more often. Oscar, I love you, brother. And I love Kim. Still love Kim. Stop blaming her. It's not her fault. Nah, you're my boy. You're my boy. And I would love to stream with you again. Yo, you were on. Yeah, next time. That's it's one of your favorite phrases. Or wait until next year, or we'll see, when you're talking about the Knicks or the Mets. Or yeah, that's one of your favorite phrases. But anyway, again, shout out. You're one of my homies. You're a beautiful person, man. And so I would love to stream on there. I saw you playing 2K. I saw you. You were on the campaign probably. But you guys, don't be ducking me on 2K, boy. Don't be ducking me. Anyway, please follow us on all accounts, Instagram, all the great socials, Twitch, StillVinSane, Keep Up Pond on Facebook. Shout out to my grandmother for watching the show on Facebook. Thank you. And you can support the show financially. There's independent media. I have a Patreon. I have a Cash App. I have a Venmo. Thank you to Jen Graziano. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for watching. I know we have different opinions. I don't know exactly where. I kind of tell sometimes. But even with saying that, I'm glad that you get to hear my perspective and you get to hear me joke around on some entertainment as well and some funny viral shit. But shout out to you. She was my former babysitter and I love her to death. And I hope much success for the family. They babysitted me too. They were intricate in my growing up. And so I'm a big fan of the Grazianos for sure. Shout out to Woodside. That's where I reside. And so follow us on those channels, support our channels, support us financially if you can. Get me a cup of coffee. That'd be awesome. And download us wherever you pod, Spotify, Apple Music. We're there. We're everywhere. YouTube, TikTok. And I've been putting up baseball shorts on YouTube Shorts. So go check those out. Go Yankees. Go New York sports. And yeah, fuck all those other sports. I don't give a shit. I'm very regional when it comes to that. Anyway, you better listen up, shut the fuck up, and keep up with your boy StillVinSane. Over and out, homies. That is episode 17. See you next week. Sunday, Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. live, or go download it.